The countess, in reply, bowed gracefully to Albert, and extended her hand with a cordial kindness to Franz. Then, inviting Albert to take the vacant seat beside her, she recommended to Franz to take the next best, if he wished to view the ballet, and pointed to the one behind her own chair. Albert was soon deeply engrossed in discoursing upon Paris and Parisian matters, speaking to the countess of the various persons they both knew there. Franz perceived how completely he was in his element, and, unwilling to interfere with the pleasure he so evidently felt, took up Albert's glass, and began in his turn to survey the audience. Sitting alone in the front of a box immediately opposite, but situated on the third row, was a woman of exquisite beauty, dressed in a Greek costume which evidently, from the ease and grace with which she wore it, was her national attire. Behind her, but in deep shadow, was the outline of a masculine figure, but the features of this latter personage it was not possible to distinguish. Franz could not forbear breaking in upon the apparently interesting conversation passing between the Countess and Albert, to inquire of the former if she knew who was the fair Albanian opposite, since beauty such as hers was well worthy of being observed by either sex. "All I can tell about her," replied the Countess, "is that she has been at Rome since the beginning of the season, for I saw her where she now sits the very first night of the season, and since then she has never missed a performance. Sometimes she is accompanied by the person who is now with her, and at others she is merely attended by a black servant." "And what do you think of her personal appearance?" "Oh, I consider her perfectly lovely. She is just my idea of what Medora must have been." Okay, our cast of characters in this timeline, the Franz and Albert timeline, are growing. Now we have a Greek woman and an unidentified man of intrigue behind her. We don't quite get what catches Franz's eye about her outside of her exquisite beauty, quote unquote. Lots of characters being introduced in shadowy profile in the last couple chapters. Dante and Vampa and the Colosseum, whoever this guy is, hanging out with the Greek woman. Do we know anyone from Greece in this story yet? I don't think so. We get another reference to Lord Byron. His poem, The Corsair, includes a character named Medora, who the Countess is referencing here. And not completely superfluously, I don't think. My guess is that all of this indication about the social elite going to a opera of Byron and referencing a Byronic poem. Is it Byronic? No, that's Alanis Morissette. The point being that I think Byron kind of represents what was in vogue at the time, particularly among social elites. So the references not only are true to their station in life, but also ring true to modern audiences as a reference to something that they also may have heard of, even if they haven't read it. Or maybe they have. What do I know? One of the things I find really fascinating about this period of time in literature is, and I've alluded to this before, this kind of like explosion of international influence and fascination with other cultures. It really was starting, I mean, it had been going on for, a couple centuries up to this point, but as people got a little bit more leisure time and there are different types of writing and travel logs and ways of expressing thought and entertainment, like you start to see this clash of cultures, and it comes out in a variety of ways. This book is a great example of it. I mean, how many countries have we been to already? And if we haven't been to those countries, how many people from those countries have we encountered? Italians, Parisians, Greeks, Spaniards. I mean, you're hopping around the entire Mediterranean at this point. And I think there's the allure to that is that, it's exotic, but with exoticism comes a sort of mystery. You're fascinated because it's something new, something you don't understand, something of beauty, something of just different tradition and custom. It's stimulating in all kinds of ways. But I would imagine Franz is going to make his play for this Greek woman at some point. So will he use his relationship with the Countess to accomplish that? I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to read a little bit more tomorrow. So until then, okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.